Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while, keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New Artist Profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new Artist Profile. Thank God for music, new music on the radio.
What's going
on, good people? It is Tony D and your girl Partice, and we are here for the NAP Live. My dear friend Tony is maybe having a little technical difficulty, so we're just gonna go ahead and kick it off right here with your girl Partice and Tony D. So listen, we have an excellent guest coming up tonight, so I want you guys to prepare for our artists. But before we get into that, we got an intro video that we'd like you to check out.
Are you submitting your music the right way? If you're an independent artist trying to get radio play, playlist placements, or industry attention, this message is for you. Too many talented artists are getting ignored, not because the music isn't good, but because the submission process is done wrong. Introducing 10 Steps for Proper Song Submission from CSE Media Group. This is a must-have guide designed to help you present your music professionally and get taken seriously in the industry. Inside this powerful PDF, you'll learn how to properly submit your music to radio stations and DJs, the right way to approach industry professionals, what to include in your email and what to avoid, how to build real relationships that lead to opportunity, and how to make sure your music is fully prepared with the correct metadata. Plus, you'll get a bonus section covering common mistakes artists make, so you can avoid them completely. This isn't guesswork. This is real industry game, and it's available right now for just $25. If you're serious about your music, it's time to level up how you present it. Don't just make music, present it professionally. Get your copy today. Email Tony D on the radio05@gmail.com or type "How can I get mine?" in the comment section below.
Tony D and the entire New Artist Profile team wishes to thank our newest show sponsor, B&W Insurance Group. Welcome to the New Artist Profile family.
If you hear the sound of a lion, that's B&W Insurance Group, the full-service broker agency, here to service you. If you need insurance, we got you covered. Life, health, home, auto, and more. Call Millage Williams and his team at 762-246-4580. Today, the guardians of trust. If you hear the sound of a lion, that's B&W Insurance Group, the full-service broker agency, here to service you.
What's going on, Partice?
What's going on, Tony D? Happy
Man,
Sunday.
we ain't gonna let the devil win. We're having a little technical issues over here in North Augusta, but we're excited about today's show, man. We've got some great music to give you, Partice. And as you can see, we both ready to party tonight.
Oh yeah, it's a party going down tonight.
Because we have an amazing artist on. I think we're going to play one of his videos, so we're not going to tell you who it is. We want the music to speak for itself. So pay attention to this video, and then we'll be back with our featured guest today right here on the NAP Show Live.
In this game,
game of life. You got a man that'll treat you right, but come strong when it's time to fight. In sync, always by your side. In this game of love, I got a woman that'll hold me up. Rock solid, no folding up. 10 toes down, no pressure. No, said we can't lose when we move the way we move. Said I love it when you step right, bring it back with a love slide. Then we roll, then we roll slide. Yeah. Said I love it when you step right, bring it back with a love slide. Roll slide. Girl, you can lean on me when everything is on the line. You can just toss it up. Ooh, and I'ma bring it home every time. Oh, no fumbling around, no dropping balls. You always give me what I need every time I make that call. Girl, we can't lose when we move the way we move. Yo, that's why I love it when you step right, bring it back with a love slide. Then we roll slide. Yeah. Said I love it when you step right, bring it back with a love slide. Roll slide. We got a winning team, and it's you and me. We got a winning team, yeah. So let's roll slide roll. So let's roll slide roll. We got a winning team, and it's you and me. We got a winning team, yeah. So let's roll slide roll. Let's roll slide roll. Bring it back with another slide. Yeah. Then we roll slide roll. Yeah, said I love it when you step right. Bring it back, then you bring it on back. Then we roll slide roll. Yeah, I love it when you step right. Bring it back, bring it on back. Yeah, then we roll slide roll. Yeah, yeah. Bring it back with another slide.
Roll, slide, roll. I like that, Partice. I feel like I just want to put my skates on. Be like,
Yeah,
roll, roll, let
gonna
me
roll.
roll.
We're gonna step
Yes,
back
that's
to
a
the
hot
right.
track. Yeah, from a dope artist. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce to you Mr. Alvin Garrett. What's going on, Alvin?
What's up? What's up? I was over here, roll, slide, roll.
That track is dope, bro. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. How y'all doing today?
Doing well on
Man,
yourself.
we're good. We're doing good, man.
We're
We
rolling
happy
with
to
you.
have you on.
I'm
Yeah,
happy
we
to be here.
rolling.
I'm having fun. And I came prepared, you know. I came prepared.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me tell you, I think our producer Grace and Angee are some of your biggest fans because
Yeah.
they've been saying, Tony, you got to get Alvin Garrett on for man, almost a year. And so
Wow.
I'm so glad that we were able to get you on today. So, man, we just gonna dive in. Partice, man, do what you do, Partice. Alvin, just relax, man. We're gonna have a great show.
Listen, before we get into all these great questions and learn more about you, I want to say this morning I'm doing my research as I do, and I came across a video last year from the 40th Stella Awards, and you were there representing with Makai with Clap Your Way. So I kind of start watching the video, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna meet Alvin again tonight. So I'm excited to be here. Of course, you have your journey. Stella Doves, Grammy nominated, writing and singing, as we just saw it, roll, slide, roll. That's your passion, of course, is music and writing. So I just want to start with just getting a little bit about you, about your upbringing in Alabama.
Yes. Well, first, let me thank y'all officially for having me on the show. I'm very, very grateful and appreciative of the opportunity to be here. And my gratefulness was instilled in me at a young age, growing up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as a preacher's kid. Faith in Action Ministries. My dad, the Alvin Garrett, the one and only Alvin Garrett, and I'm a junior, taught me to be grateful and always to thank God for opportunities that come my way. But that's where I got my start. That's where I fell in love with music. That's where I fell in love with the bass guitar. And that's where my hands were prayed for at the age of 11 to learn how to play this beautiful instrument, which took me on a journey for many, many years throughout life, playing with gospel groups, touring around the country as a musician, becoming a producer, a songwriter. But my journey started in the church, and that laid the foundation for all of the music that I write, my core values that I instill in my music, be it my R&B or the gospel that I write. It started in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And so I'm excited to share any part of that story that you all are willing to hear. But that's for me. I'm a Southern boy. I'm a good old-fashioned Southern boy raised in the church, and just grateful that my parents, my pastors, demonstrated love in the home for me, to each other and for God, and taught me that as long as love is involved, I'm free to explore it. And so I'm not one of those people who have that struggle and battle between pick one. You're either in the church or you're out the church. Now that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So when you hear my R&B music, like you just heard with Roll Slide Roll, it's a song that makes you step, but the words that I'm saying is wholesome. It's about love. It's uplifting. And so that's a lot about who I am from the roots.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And you kind of touched on it a lot. They didn't just anoint your hands for bass, okay? They anoint those hands for songwriting and a whole lot of other things that your hands were anointed for. And I like to touch on the fact where you said they never press you to pick one. But how did you balance yourself with R&B and gospel? Talk about how you were able to balance that and not even feel pressure yourself that this is a little bit confusing.
It's never been confusing with me. And you just said it. How do you balance it? You balance it with love. At the end of the day, are the words that you're saying, are they uplifting, empowering? Are you telling stories about the human emotions? Because that's what the Bible actually did. The Bible tells us all of these stories that really cover the full spectrum of the human experience, because God wanted us to be human. And so that is something that I embrace, and I've never had this struggle because my R&B music isn't vulgar. Like I don't write any music that is vulgar, any music that is demeaning towards my fellow man or my women. I don't do that. So I have my own personal boundaries in terms of what I will write and what I will co-sign with my pen. And so I don't really care too much about the genre that you put on it. I care about the messaging that I put in it, right? And so that's how I found my own personal balance and professional balance.
And smile.
Yeah.
So I did not realize that you are a fellow bass player. So shout out to another bass player. Bass players we have our own vibe. We got our own vibe.
Yes,
yeah, man.
yes.
Angee Coman said bass players are the best because Angie's husband is a bass player. So we got Partice bass players and took over today. We done took over.
They done took over the game. So forget the drummers, the bass players. The drummers used
no,
to
we need the drummers. We need the drummers, but the bass is what it is.
That's right.
Bass is what it is.
The drummers used to be the one that would take over.
Yeah. So Alvin, when did you realize that bass guitar was one of your loves and something that you want to stick with?
Like I said, I remember getting my first bass guitar on my 11th birthday. I can't tell you how long I sat there and looked at the bass for them to notice. But the guy, his name was Chuck, God rest his soul. Chuck would slap the bass all in church. He reminded you kind of that slap bass, and I would just sit there and look, and I'd be dialed in. And so they just saw me loving the instrument. I always wanted to sit by the band in church. And so it was at the age of 11 that they invested in that instrument for me. And honestly, man, I just sat next to the radio. I would just learn how to play. I would just listen to songs. I'd be listening to all this choir and gospel music. I don't care how complicated it was. I was going to sit there till I figured it out. I'm listening to music with Andrew Goucher on the bass. You know what I'm saying? Maurice Fitzgerald. So I always looked at the credits to see who's playing the bass, because I wanted to learn how to play all this amazing music, even with jazz, listening to, Nathan East, Marcus Miller, all of those bass players. I'm sitting there practicing this stuff as a pastime. Of course, I was in the school and football and sports, but when I'm at home, I was next to I had my bass in my hand and my ear to the radio, practicing and figuring things out. So I never took music lessons. I just it was just a love and a passion that I had, and that I still have that same love and passion for the bass guitar.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Go ahead, Tony. Got another question?
No. Go ahead, Partice.
Okay, so I want to talk about your sound. You just you touched on it a little bit, listening to everything with the ear and everything. And, Al Green and Sam Cooke. There's a generation gap with influences for the kids to look up to. So how do we not necessarily feel the generational gap, but how do we get that influence back with some great people when there's nobody for this generation to look, unless they go back centuries? How do they get that ear? How do they get that sound? And what do you contribute the generational gap to when it comes to music?
Well, I think our young people are being influenced by the music that they listen to. And if you're saying them listening to music that influences them in a positive way, or that influences them to see relationships in a healthy or loving way, or how to talk to women, that's a big part of my latest R&B album, which is entitled Talk to Her Like This. It was actually inspired in one of my songwriting classes, where one of my 18-year-old students heard one of the songs that I had written. It's called You Give Me Life. He listened to it and said, Mr. Garrett, you think if I, could sing that song to my girl, I could get her back, right? So everybody started laughing, and it showed me, that sort of led me down this path, that when a young man hears a song that is written from the heart, if he's experienced emotions, he's going to connect and say, if I could say it like that, I would, and maybe that would help me get my girl back. Well, we have to present the music to them. We have to give them the option to listen to songs that can speak for them. Hence, Talk to Her Like This. You know what I mean? An album, an R&B project that inspires the listeners to say, this music speaks for me when I'm feeling some emotions. And so that used to be the norm, of course, with older R&B music, more traditional R&B music. That used to be the norm. And oftentimes R&B music now, you're listening to it, you're like, I wouldn't play that, or would I say that to my girl? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm taking the lead on that myself. And I'm not the only person doing that, but I am committed to it myself.
You're committed to it. So when I was saying generational gap, we lost we lost a lot of greats like Al Green, Sam Cooke, those soul reaching, like who like there'll never be another Al Green, and you can emulate that, but somewhere between the 80s and 90s, we kind of lost that soul. We kind of lost the kids growing up in church, then going to R&B. Like, we kind of lost that influence, in my opinion, when it comes to music.
Well, from what I've experienced, there are a lot of amazing R&B singers and soul singers who got their roots. Like, let's just say D'Angelo. Like, if you, he just transitioned. But if you listen to D'Angelo's music and you're a fan of Quartet, D'Angelo was listening to Quartet music. Yeah. You don't know if he spent his life in church, but you hear those influences. You hear the church musicians in his band. You know what I mean? When he was touring, he was using gospel musicians. And so that's just one example of an artist who's iconic for my generation, who, if you just change the lyrics, it reminds you of Quartet gospel. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of R&B artists who sort of came up from the church. I think that there just hasn't been as big of a story about it, in terms of,
that's a good point.
Because back in those days, it was more taboo to grow up in the church, and then all of a sudden you're singing soul music. It was an outrage about it. Like, whoa, Aretha Franklin, I can't believe she out there singing for the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think you just may not notice it as much because it doesn't matter as much societally that people who came up in church are also singing R&B music. Like my man PJ Morton. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's a great influence.
That's my good buddy. That's a good friend of mine. We played in the band together. I know him very closely. He played at my wedding. You know what I'm saying? And so he's iconic for today's age, and he's a huge preacher's kid doing R&B music. So the I think the conversation is about more about how people perceive and accept the transition. And I think now people expect R&B singers to have some soul, and some gospel-esque soul. You know what I mean?
I expect
Yeah,
it. I think for
yeah.
me, I'm missing it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not too connected and to the R&B industry like the way I used to be.
Mhm.
Yeah, you brought up some great names, especially PJ, man. PJ, that boy is a beast, and his pen is amazing. So yeah, speaking of amazing pens, you've penned some great music, man, on both sides. You've done some stuff with Dietrich, Trinity 5-7, Darwin Hobbs, Lowell, Pi, Lexus, Spike, of course, Michael Lee, which we know, Clap My Way just
Mhm.
ran all over gospel music last year. And then on the R&B side, you work with my dude Joe,
Yeah.
Kelly Rowland, Fantasia, Aruba Studdard, Johnny Gill, Mr. My. Like, man, how
The
does it
red
feel
joints.
to have worked with some of the most iconic artists on both gospel and R&B, and to work with Uncle Fred and Rodney, man? Like, just let me be a fly in the room with one of the sessions in that. you know?
You know, it's a really humbling journey, because as you read all these different names, you know, I'm like, ooh, I did that. It doesn't really land until someone else sort of acknowledges it. Because I'm from Alabama. I live in Birmingham, Alabama, from Tuscaloosa. So these people aren't just walking around like, hey, can I work with you? You know what I'm saying? You're not just seeing them at your local Starbucks. So you know that is God's hand that opens up those doors for you. And that has been my journey. You know, even working with Joe the way that I did. I mean, it was somebody here who knew somebody there, who knew somebody, who knew the producer, who knew somebody. And here it is, I'm writing for Joe. And you can trace the steps of favor. And so for me, I look at every single thing you just named and I go trace it back to one person maybe having favor in me and making a call on my behalf. It wasn't just my talent. It was God that opened up those doors for me. And when I got in those doors, I had to deliver. And so that's, working with Uncle Freddie, that was one of the things that really challenged me to grow. He's my mentor. And he would always tell me, say, man, you can be one of the greatest, but you got to work. He said, you got to work. You can't sit around expecting to be paid to be great. You just have to be great. And so I honor Uncle Freddie as sort of my big brother in the music industry. We got a lot of number ones together and have done a lot of work together. And he and his brother also represent producers who have worked on, like you say, both sides of that spectrum, who have super long resumes in R&B pop music as well
We are
as in
going
gospel.
to continue this great interview. We're going to play you Partice. This guy has a bio that is very, very.
Partice?
I think we lost Tony D. Was talking about your bio. We want to get to you being honored in 2024, where you received the President Medal of Honor award by President Joe Biden, in recognition of transformative contributions to music and social justice. Of course, we're going to talk about your right life. We're going to talk about that. Talk about the day you found out you were going to be honored with the Presidential Medal of Honor.
Well, that's an award. We were just talking about excuse me, the musical bio and all the things that come along with that, and the Stellars and Dove and Grammy nomination, but you don't have on that list a Presidential Medal of Honor. You don't put that on the list of things you are striving for, as an artist or as a songwriter. So to be recognized for the work that I've done with my songwriting therapy program called The Right Life in the criminal justice field, in the world of prison reentry and workforce development, that was a surprise for me, that people were seeing the impact that I was making and had the wherewithal to present me to the president's committee, to be a part of that selection process, and to be chosen was a very, very humbling honor. And it caught me off guard. Like I was like, "Oh, what? Oh, what? By who?" So that's pretty amazing, because that program is very, very dear to my heart. Um, and it's something that is sort of like a ministry for me, because it infuses the principles of faith and how we can change our lives through implementing faith and faith principles. I just rebranded it into songwriting, and so
Yeah.
it's a really amazing program.
So I know you were talking about earlier, one of the young fellas you were mentoring was trying to get his girl back, and so is that program part of helping not just the young men win their ladies back, but the program is also helping them to learn their gifts and talents and some of the other things that you do. And I think we have something about your project that we're going to have here as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Every human being has a bottom, and every human being at some point bottoms out. But how do we go bottom up? What is up for us? What is that process? What is that mindset? What is that experience that lifts us from the bottom and takes us up? It's that hope that gets us from the bottom up. It's the hope that we can save one. It's the hope that our children gonna do better because of me. It's all about raising the floor where the bottom ain't so low. So it's a togetherness, and it's a way that we live and love each other that raises the floor, raises the bottom. Let's come up together, right? We in this together, we at the bottom together, because that's what makes us human. So that's why we have to treat each other with that love, because we could always live somebody.
I love that. I love that. You know, they say the to go to the top is to start from the bottom. You know, we want to start from the top, but going to the bottom and lifting up love, the inspiration that you gave to the kids in the room. How does that impact? Before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, it's your girl Partice, and Tony D had to drop off. He's having some internet issues. Perhaps we may get him back. But tonight we're with the Alvin Garrett,
Yes.
hanging out here on the NAP live show. And thank you so much. And we just saw him giving a speech with his Right Life project. And thank you so much for tuning in and being here tonight. But tell us about the project and the inspiration that you develop each and every day, and your love for your passion behind working with the kids and the youth.
Well, as you can see in that clip, you know, we just talk. We sit in a circle. You know, like you say, it's based on that sort of group therapy model. I am not a therapist, right? I'm not a licensed therapist, but I am a conversationalist. And to me, if I can get you to talk, if I can get you to open up, if I can make you feel comfortable with not only me, but your neighbors, then magic can happen. And so as a songwriter, I believe that I have the gift to write a song about anything if I can talk about it. And so that is sort of the premise of this particular program, is getting people to talk about their experiences, talk about their trauma, talk about their hopes, talk about their dreams, talk about their barriers. And then we take that and we set some rules and regulations, meaning we have to be positive. We cannot, and we cannot well, I say glorify negativity. We can't kill anybody in the song. We can't use vulgarity. So we set engagement rules, because society does that as well, right? There are rules, there are rules and laws that we have to abide by. So I make my rules for participation in the class. If you want to record the song, if you want to write a song. And so what you're doing is taking all these different elements and giving people an opportunity to explore what happens when they go from living an impulsive freestyle life to an intentional written life, right? A life based on a vision, a life based on a plan, and in partnership with an organization like the Dannon Project, where you saw this class that provides case management, that provides court advocacy, that works with our employers in the community, that as you're getting your training, as you're changing your life by choice, and you're going to your interview, you remember, I can choose not to curse in this interview. Same way I chose not to curse in Mr. Garrett's class, right? And so It's not so it's a total mindset change, and it is so they receive it so easily because it's presented in a format that they love, which is music.
Yeah. One thing I do understand about the youth, they want to be heard, right? So you give them a platform that you can allow them to talk so they can be heard, so they can discover what their gifts is. Maybe it's not writing, maybe it's singing, maybe it's something else, but it's one thing to divert them away from the negativity because you know
That's
that
right.
that's going to happen automatically. But giving them a space where there's no negativity, they can come in and be positive, and then all of a sudden guess what? They're going to find that and they're going to take that back to their community. And it's just
That's
going to be a
right.
domino effect. And we got a lot of people on social media. I don't know if anyone have questions, but if you do have questions for our special guest tonight, please feel free to put them down there. We'll definitely get it on for the Grammy nominated singer and R&B artist, the Alvin Garrett, here on the NAP Live. And I do want to talk about you, your entrepreneurship, your entrepreneur skills. I mean, you are just a whole, I mean, you've been working. Like when they told you to put in the work and you got to be great to put in the work, you took that literally and you started putting in the work. So talk about your business mindset and entrepreneurial skills that you have.
Well, yes, I went to Sanford University here in Birmingham, Alabama, and I studied business management and got a degree in business management as
Don't just
opposed
stop
to
there because you're summa cum laude. You
yeah,
just can't leave. You can't leave that out now. You
that's
can't
that's
leave
true.
that.
That's
You can't
that's
leave that. I know you want to just act like you graduated, but go ahead.
it was yeah, no, I didn't graduate. Oh Lordy, I graduated. Um, but I chose business instead of music because I knew in my heart that this was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life was to not just play music, but to raise a family with music, to have pay for everything I bought with music. I wanted to run a music business, and so I felt like I needed to learn how to do music. And I mean music business, how to do business, period. And so I studied business and that I believe has been the foundation for every move I've made, from graduating from college, getting a corporate job, and utilizing that money to invest in all of my equipment to have my startup. I saw every penny I made outside of what I put into living as investment capital to buy instruments, to buy sound systems, so that I could run my music business. And from doing weddings to corporate events, everything about being a full-time entrepreneur has been about understanding that I have to reinvest in my tools, buying studio equipment, buying software, so that I have the things that I need to continue to grow. And so over the past 20 plus years, since 2002, I've been a full-time entrepreneur in the music business. But it does go back
Wow.
to the foundational principles of understanding business and how to um, just operate an actual business. And so that's not the norm with most creatives. Oftentimes, creatives
Yeah.
overlook the business aspect because that's not normal and natural. It's like, oh, I'm super talented and I'm creative. So I know how
Yeah.
to turn that off and count the money. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Count them coins, count them coins. Hey, we got a video of yours that we're gonna play a little bit later, but I want to talk about your legacy. I'm looking forward before we get the video on because the video is about love and life. And of course, your legacy and looking forward, it couples the love and life, with your song. So talk about your legacy and looking forward to what's next for the Alvin Garrett, because I'm sure you got a laundry list of things that you're working on.
Yeah, well, right now I am in this phase of just really, really drilling down on this with this new project and what it stands for and pushing the love and the respect through R&B music and having these types of conversations as I, push it at this point in my artistic career because like I said, I've been successful on different levels and I'm always growing and always hungry, but I'm really, really excited about this part of my journey as an artist. And so next, I'm looking forward to touring. We're getting a lot of tour dates to come through. That's still something as an independent artist that I'm excited about doing as an independent artist. And I make sure people know that it is not just a snap of a finger to tour with your own music. Now, if I was just doing covers,
Yeah.
there's always somewhere you can go out and do as an entertainer, singing other people's music. But to achieve the level of people want you and you're singing your music as an independent artist, nothing but respect for every artist that can get out and tour and move around and make money and sing their own music. And so
Mhm.
that is something for me that is still a goal I'm achieving, is having enough support out there in the marketplace to where I can go from city to city singing my own songs. And so I'm getting there. Dates are coming through, people are catching on. And so that's very, very exciting that I'm moving around and able to hit the stage with my own songs.
And you starting the parties wherever you go.
That's right. We roll, slide,
we gotta
rolling.
talk about we gotta talk about you starting the parties. But one thing I like about that is it's good energy, it's positive, and people can come together in a great environment. Do a line dance, have some fun, listen to some good music, and
That's,
remind them of how good God is, and at the same time.
that's right.
So before we get to the video, though, I do want to you do it all as an independent artist. Talk about being able to balance your mind with the independent artist, writing, producing. I'm sure that when you have that many gifts, you got to say, listen, what am I going to focus on? Talk about your focus, and how do you manage being able to do all of that, being multi-talented like in that way?
Well, it's like managing small businesses. You know what I mean? It's all about understanding your goal. It's about building a good team, with you
Yeah.
and around you. And teams don't just, pop up. You sometimes have to develop your team. So there are people on my team that I've had to train to do certain jobs, so that I can start letting those things go and delegating those tasks to other people. And so I know a lot of people say, get a team, get a team. Like, where you get them from, right? So to be able to grow and have the capacity to do a lot of different things, you have to have people around you who you can designate things to. And so I'm always grateful for the team of people that I have working with me, who not only believe in me, but who are worth the investment. You know what I mean? So I don't have a team of people who, quote unquote, just do it for the love. I invest in them, right? I
Yeah.
look at them as a part of my business model, and they bring that value and they expand my capacity to do multiple things. And so um, that part is what keeps me sort of in the game and able to diversify the different things that I do. But I am also, reasonable about
Mhm.
what I take on, right? So when I'm promoting an album, I'm not all the way accessible to say, hey, come to me, I'm writing a song for you. I may not be writing for other artists when I'm writing for myself, depending
Mhm.
on what space I'm in. And so it's not like I'm doing everything every day and that I'm all discombobulated. I pick and choose what I'm taking on. And so that's a part of good management.
Yes, yes. Time management. And of course, we want you guys to support the Alvin Garrett, his Instagram, his TikTok, his Facebook. You should see it at the below at the bottom of the screen. And before we get ready to play this interview, so kind of lead us into You Give Me Love. Let's talk about it.
Well, you give me life. You give me life was the
You Give
first
Me
thing.
Life. I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. Because love is life. So
Yeah.
it's a good sort of marriage of words. Love
Hmm.
does give life, and that's what this song is all about. And it's when you meet that person who makes you feel alive and not just existing, who you can share your visions with and share your thoughts and ideas with, and then it's life giving. And so that's sort of the premise of this song. You give me life is just remembering who that love, that person who gives you that love that makes you feel alive and gives you hope and helps you experience the colors of life. So that's what this song is all about.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody hanging out on Facebook, on YouTube, anywhere on Dallas Frazier. Somebody says Dallas Frazier, but where is Dallas? Dallas having some internet issues. So it's just me tonight, guys. Hope you enjoying. But we are still going to party tonight with our special guest. So here is the Alvin Garrett.
To the store for me?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Wow, you give me life. The Alvin Garrett right here on the NAP Live. It's your girl Partice. Hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did. You know, your sound is different. You can do different sounds. Like that song is in a different R&B category, you know, just straight singing. Then you got the old school, like the Al Green R&B sound. What motivates you when you're doing writing for yourself, like not other people? I know you said when you write for other people you get to know them and what they're going through and you write their story, but when you're writing for you and your story, what's your motivation and inspiration?
Well, it comes from a lot of different places, and I will say that when I'm this particular project, once I dialed into the vision of it, I thought about my parents, and this is
Mm,
kind of a sort of a silent tribute to them and the love that they demonstrated. 50 years married now, and that
wow.
that video is actually modeled after a true story. My dad was in a accident in 1986, and he actually died on the table. And my mom was there and prayed him back to life. And
Mm,
so that's the short version of the story. But I was 8
mm-hmm.
years old, and he literally was medically dead. And so my mom wouldn't let him leave us. And so he tells the story of remembering what it was like to be out of his body and feeling the freedom that comes when we leave these bodies. And he said he asked God to send him back. And I know that that was a miraculous um, thing that happened
Yes.
through my mom's prayer that brought him back to life. And so he's alive today. I grew up with my father. I wasn't a young man
Wow.
who didn't have that influence in my life. And he taught me to be a gentleman. He's a very loving, strong man. And so when you're watching that video, it's actually modeled after a true story that happened in my life. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's just one example of where I pull inspiration from.
that's a good example. It's a great story.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. As we come to the end, I want to definitely leave you with the last remarks, any encouraging words, anything, any shows you got coming up. I'm going to just let you do your thing because it's no way we can have a Grammy nominated songwriter and just not let him impart into us.
Yeah, well, man, listen, I am just grateful for this opportunity to come and share and to talk about, you know, my life as a songwriter and everything that I'm doing. But I just want to encourage everybody, to keep dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And I know we got
Mm,
a lot going on in this world right now, that could steal our joy, right? Just a lot that could steal our joy. And I've chosen to use my talent and to use my abilities to spread love in this season, not with ignorance to what we are going through in
mhm.
this world and in this country, but with the intent purpose of giving people something to help them feel refreshed. And this music, this R&B music is refreshing. And I hope to live a life that is refreshing. And so when people follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at the Alvin Garrett, or go to my website at alvingarrett.com, I hope that that's what they feel. But just know that that is rooted and grounded in the love, not only for each other and my fellow man, but my love for God. And that's what I put into all of the music that I write. And that's how I live my life. That's how I give back through my songwriting program. And that's just what I stand for. So as you're supporting me, you're supporting a man who believes in love and believes in empowering other people with his platform. And that's me. And so I'm just excited and grateful for every opportunity that comes my way through the gifts that I have. And so thank you, Partice. And we're gonna have to do this again when Tony
Tony
D
D,
got
well, he got
the
his act right. He got
we
his
got
act
his
right.
yeah, we got his act right because we gotta hear from our boy. But thank you so much for carrying it, and you have done a wonderful job
Thank you.
pivoting like a great musician, like a great musician does. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep playing, son. Keep playing.
Yeah, you better not stop.
Don't stop playing.
You better go get that switch if you stop. You better not stop. Go get a
There
beat
you
if you
go.
stop.
There you go.
That
The
tough
band
love.
system.
Before we talk, as we talk about tough love, you don't give that to your kids, but I do want to talk about the love that you do show to your kids on your project. So if anyone wants to support your project, please put that information out there as well.
Yes, go to dannonproject.org. That's DANNONPROJECT.org to support the nonprofit that hosts this wonderful program. Just be mindful, everybody, that with this current administration, a lot of our community-based organizations have had funds stripped away that they were awarded, and it directly impacts our ability to serve the people that we have dedicated ourselves to serving. And so we're just one of many, many, many in this country who have been sort of, um, thrown under the bus as it relates to having the resources we need to serve the people in our community. So any assistance, anything that you're led to do to support the Dannon Project will absolutely go towards changing lives. And so that's dannonproject.org to donate and to give to that organization that does such wonderful work in the Birmingham and surrounding communities.
And it's needed to have in those areas, because one thing that I've learned, exposure expands you, experience gives you knowledge that you probably would never, even though you can go to school and get summa cum laude, experience can give you that summa cum laude as well.
That's right.
So
That's right.
thank you so much. I definitely want to, I don't know if there were any questions. I didn't see any pop up, but definitely want everybody to go support the Alvin Garrett here on all his music. R&B, don't be afraid of it. It's not gonna bite you. It's not gonna bite you.
No,
Go
it's gonna
practice
hug
road slide.
you. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
hug
love you.
you.
Go practice road slide. Tell us what was the inspiration behind road slide roll, the dance, before we get ready to get out of here.
Oh yeah, well, the roll slide roll. I am from Tuscaloosa, so roll tide. You hear the similarities,
Uh-huh.
and of course, a lot of people are really into line dancing these days. That's how we connect. That's how we share community. So I wanted to get in on the party, right? And so it's a line dancing song, but it stayed true to who I am, and it has a great message. And so when you listen to the song, you hear the references to football and having a winning attitude and teamwork. But when you put that in the context of a relationship and how you should approach life and how you fight together and how you work together and how you have a coordinated approach to all that life throws at you, that's when you really appreciate a song like this. So when you listen to it and you dancing to it, when I say I love it when you step right, what I'm really saying is I love it when you come correct and show me respect, baby.
Okay.
Right? And
Okay.
so it's a wonderful, loving double message in this song. And that's what I stand for. And that's what you'll get on this album, Talk to Her Like This. And it's definitely one of those records that the preachers can listen to. My dad is the pastor, is been certified. I sent every song to Pops. Him and Mama listen to it. They certified. It's good to go, son. So all the preachers can listen to the music. Pastor and First Lady can dance with it. You know what I'm saying? It's been preacher tested. So I'm telling you.
It's been tried and approved.
It's been tried and approved. Pastor and First Lady approved it all. So you go groove with it. You know what I'm saying? Your preacher man shouldn't be ashamed to play my music. And you can invite me on Saturday and I'll show up on Sunday and hang out with you.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me and my friend in his absence, Tony D. Thank you so much for coming on the NAP Live with all your music, your talent, your everything. Thank you for bringing that you have done in this industry, all your accolades. Just want to pour back into you, accomplishments. Always want to give people that flowers now, let them know how great they are now, and not be like, oh man, So definitely want to give you flowers now and let you know that you're doing great things in this industry and in this community, in the community there in Alabama. So thank you so much. We pray your strength, and of course, just know that you're coming back.
That's great. We're gonna do it again.
All right, thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go into some closing remarks, I don't have the closing remarks as Tony D. I have the closing remarks as Partice. But make sure you tune in next Sunday right here on NAP Live, Dallas Frazier. And as you see, I have my Let's Party Tonight on. I don't know if they have that video queued up, but Let's Party Tonight by Tony D. And make sure you check out his book, Lime Lights to the Lyrics. And of course, you can check out my book, Truly Unique, I Am Somebody. out by Partice Smith. So make sure you check all that good stuff out. And thank you so much for tuning in this week. God bless you guys. See you next week. Follow us on social media as well. Have a great rest of the Sunday afternoon, everyone.
Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while. Keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New Artist Profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new Artist Profile. Thank God for music. New music on the radio.
What's going on, you guys? Adrian Constanary Jr. here, and I'm here to talk to you about a brand new show that we're bringing to Level Up Nation called The Herd. He earns respect daily. This is an all-men's talk show where we'll be making a lot of different topics come to light, and where all excuses will get checked at the door, but also where brotherhood will be pushed. So we'll have a lot of different things. Make sure you guys tune in, join in with the comments, and give us a couple different things. Feed into this conversation. But we're looking forward to talking with you every Sunday. Make sure you tune in with Level Up Nation. I'm Adrian Constanary, one of the co-hosts for The Herd, ready to talk with you.
Now rocking with the CHH, so tune in to the CHH.
Yeah, this is the theme song, not an interlude. CHH with Kim and Birdie, I hope you're in the mood. For a special guest in the interviews, supporting the kingdom, and we continue to bring it to you non-stop. Yo, the show's a pop. Sunday night, 7th Century, we all in the spot. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, keep it locked. We Level Up Nation, we rising to the top. Yo, it's a Holy Ghost party, get your groove on. The KB double player, keep your move on. You can make the convertible if you groove strong. Come on and get your praise on for about an hour long. Shout out to Kim, yo, this is our song. You can check the times on the show's coming on. Tell your friends to tune in, we won't steer you wrong. CHH for Kim and Birdie, tap in and cheer along.
You're now rocking with the CHH, so tune in to the CHH.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation.
We all looking for a connection, something real, something true. In a world full of broken promises, I still believe in you. Every problem, every answer, got a face, got a name.
I had the pistol in my hand, cocked, and it came on 107.5. You don't want to walk with me? Yeah, I'll walk on by myself. You saved my life, bro. I'm just telling you, bro. You saved my life.
I've been rejected way too many times in my life. I won't take no for an answer anymore. Seems all these walls been erected to stop my dreams, yeah. But I won't let that be a factor anymore. If you won't stand with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go all by myself. If you won't fight with me, if you won't believe with me, I'm gonna walk on by myself. I've got this burning fire deep in my soul, and I can't escape this lonely, lonely flame. My journey may go down an old rugged road, but I keep on pressing, and I'm not afraid anymore. If you won't stand with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go with me. I'm gonna walk on by myself. I can see clearly now. Yeah, my future's my responsibility. Now I realize that if nobody helps carry my cross, I still gotta go on. If you won't stay with me, if you won't go with me, I'm gonna go on by myself.